Welcome back, everyone. Here's something to warm you up in the cold weather. It is National Soup Day, and this morning the soup's on with the Director of Culinary Development for Nino Salvaggio, our friend and chef, Pete Lauren.
I
Thanks
like
for
being your
coming
friend.
in.
Thank you for inviting us back.
Well, we like it too, because you always bring all these delicious eats for us.
Yeah, well, that's good too. That's always good
yes, it
too.
is. All right, so first of all, just talk about some of the soups that are really easy to make. I mean, they all seem pretty easy in general.
Soups are one of the easiest things you can make, quite honestly, because you just usually throw a bunch of things in water or stock. And the one I'm going to make for you right now is pretty much that way. But even the ones that are more complicated that take, let's say, a roux by mixing flour and butter together and making a cream soup, they're not hard either. They're pretty simple.
Okay, so what are you making now? I'm
going to make basically, for this time of year, everybody's got cold and flu season. They're looking for chicken noodle soup. Well, how about a soup that has everything in it? I mean, this is such a hearty soup. I had to bring it today. And what we're going to do is, quite quickly, we're going to start off by just sauteing onions, carrots, and celery. They call it a Mirepoix in French, but you know, it doesn't have to be a Mirepoix.
It doesn't have to be that
fancy. But then everything at that point is thrown in, okay? I'm going to use an organic chicken stock. This is going to require about a quart. But at the end of the day, you can buy, let's say, one of our rotisserie chickens at Nino's and just pull all the meat off of it, put it in a quart of water, and simmer it for a couple of hours. And you've got what I've got right here.
Just making your own stock
making your own
You don't have to add any vegetables or anything.
No, you don't have to add any vegetables,
Okay.
because look at all the vegetables we're going to add here.
Okay.
So it's really quite easy to do it that way. So what I've added right now to the sauteed vegetables is just a quart of stock, and then everything else gets thrown in. It's really, really simple. I've taken some of the meat from the rotisserie chicken earlier. I'm going to put the chicken in. Now it kind of looks like chicken noodle soup, right? Because we're going to put in some penne, which I like better than regular buttered noodles.
Okay.
And from here, though, Italian sausage, which you don't think about it in chicken noodle soup, but it adds so much flavor to add some Italian sausage. Shrimp, I mean, it's coming like almost like a jambalaya gumbo now, right? So you add all these things in, they'll cook. Now, I'm adding the shrimp in raw, as you see, because it'll make only a little like a broth in here that have a little seafood flavor. If I add them cooked, it doesn't add any flavor to the broth, right?
Got it.
The rest of it is just vegetables. In the case of tomatoes, some spinach. Now this will all wilt down. It'll look like thin little noodles. Some beans, so you're going to get some hardiness there. And then only some light seasoning, because you got a lot of seasoning coming in from the Italian sausage. Some parsley, some oregano, and some thyme. And then we're going to hit it with a little salt and pepper after it cooks. So
that's it.
This will just cook for, you can do this in a crock pot. You were mentioning crock pots earlier. This can go in a crock pot on low and cook for an hour or two and meld all those flavors together. It's a great, great item, even for Super Bowl. You were talking about that. Chili is really big during Super Bowl, but I'll tell you, a nice hearty soup is something that when people see it, they go, oh, you know what, I love chili, but it's kind of spicy, and a soup is so clean, especially a broth soup like this. So it's a great soup
and
for Super
easy
Bowl.
to prepare,
and
too,
very
if
easy
you're
to
hosting,
prepare.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you brought some other ideas for us as well.
I did. Some examples of things. Over here we have a salmon chowder. People think of chowder only as clam chowder. This salmon chowder is fantastic. A little bit of cream in it, but it's very, very healthy. Here, speaking of healthy, roasted acorn squash soup, and you can use just about any squash to do that. The far side of black bean with ham. We have the traditional French onion soup with, you know, the cheese on top. In the front we have a crab and corn chowder, classic kind of a mushroom, cream of mushroom soup. Here, this is a surprising good taste. It's a Thai chicken soup, but it has coconut milk in it and ginger. Very, very, very unusual.